When the federal government entrusts its funds to the care of your agency, you're responsible for ensuring its proper use, including taking all the steps necessary to prevent fraud, waste, and abuse. Your state and your agency should have internal policies and practices designed to prevent conflicts of interest and help you comply with federal regulations. A conflict of interest occurs when one's private interests and one's public duties and responsibilities diverge or are not consistent. The federal government, through its regulations, focuses on three primary sources of conflict: the independence of the people associated with the procurement, management, and administration of consultants or vendors, the independence of the people providing engineering or other professional services, and the independence of the people involved in matters related to the acquisition of real property for a project. Furthermore, federal regulations and guidance address both direct and indirect conflicts of interest, as well as the concerns regarding an appearance of a conflict of interest or bias. To illustrate, let's look at a few examples. In the first example, an agency employee asks to be involved in a decision related to the hiring of a family member as an environmental consultant. If she participates in the decision, a potential conflict of interest would arise because of her personal interest in the procurement. In the second example, a consulting engineering firm is under contract to serve as the city engineer to provide oversight of engineering functions and the work of engineering consultants procured by the city. A large federal aid roadway project is planned, and the same consulting firm serving as city engineer would like to compete to provide project-related design services for the project. Although a full-time public agency employee must be in responsible charge of the project and would oversee the consulting firm serving as city engineer, a potential conflict of interest would arise if the consulting firm were awarded the project-related design services. In addition, the firm would have an unfair advantage in competing for the work and would be in the position to review and accept its own work and invoices for payment. Our final example involves a project engineer who is selected to manage an upcoming project in which he owns property that may be in the right-of-way. If he accepts the project engineer position, his financial interest in the property would constitute a conflict of interest. As a leader in your organization, it's critical that you establish a business culture mindful of the potential for conflicts of interest. This culture includes having comprehensive policies and procedures to address conflicts of interest, as well as providing qualified, full-time agency employees to provide project oversight. Make certain that everyone in your agency reads and understands the written policies and procedures that are designed to avoid or mitigate conflicts of interest. If you're in a position to influence a procurement or right-of-way decision, seek proper guidance to recognize potential sources of conflict. Providing a separation of public and private sector roles allows for independence in decisions and actions to protect public funds from fraud, waste, and abuse. A conflict of interest, direct or indirect, violates federal regulations. Your state or local agency may have additional conflict of interest laws, regulations, or policies. Violating these federal, state, or local requirements has serious consequences for the project sponsors. Additionally, the appearance of a conflict of interest or lack of impartiality should be avoided, as it may undermine public trust if not sufficiently mitigated. Federal regulations establish the framework for project stewardship and oversight. But the State Department of Transportation, the state DOT, is responsible for enforcing the requirements of these regulations. The state DOT is also responsible for establishing procurement policies and procedures that address conflicts of interest. If you're using or planning to use consultants on a federal aid project, the state DOT can provide or assist with the development of a range of controls to prevent or mitigate the potential for conflicts. The state DOT is an excellent source of information to answer your questions regarding conflicts of interest. Additional resources and guidance information concerning conflicts of interest are also available on the Federal Highway Administration's Consultant Services website. You'll find a link to it on the Federal Aid Essentials for LPA's website.